you have to be on them for a certain amount of time. It's used as a tool to kind of reset you. So basically, when you get on, say, semaglutide and it lowers your insulin, it gives you the ability to lose weight and learn how to eat right. What's working for me, what's not working for me, what's making me sick, what's not making me sick. Because if something's making you sick, you shouldn't eat it either way, whether you're on the shot or off the shot. If it's making you sick, that means that your body is going into emergency mode when you eat that thing, and it's trying to stop whatever's happening in your body, whether it's a histamine response or inflammation. That thing you should probably avoid. So going on the shot, typically you'll start at a very low dose, and then you'll level up, and then you'll level up, and then you'll level up. And that takes about 6 months. And each time you're getting a higher dose, but you're supposed to be learning what you can and can't eat during that time frame, and still, moving. So you should be exercising as well. That's a huge part of it. Not just a magic pill, because if you don't learn and you get off of it, your insulin will just rise again and you'll start gaining it all back. So it's a lever that you're pulling. That's the only difference. Now, when you get to your highest dose, we don't keep you there either. We get you on the high dose till you reach your goal, and then we step you down. So you're basically like, like a pyramid. You're going to go up to the highest dose over time, then we're going to slowly get you off. And by that time, that's typically a year to a year and a half, where you've now learned what you can and can't eat, and you've hopefully understood psychologically what can be accomplished. Because a lot of people that are on these shots have never known what it's like to be skinny. And so once they understand, like, this is possible, I can be skinny, hopefully they've learned what to eat so they can stay that way.
Yeah.
Diet and exercise is huge. Now, when it comes to the diet piece of it, I have totally different views than most people, but I believe that the diet that works is the one that works for you. That's I'll stand by that. I have a belief that just getting anyone that gets off processed foods in general is going to feel better. They're going to feel amazing because they're not eating things that, I believe, were put there to be addictive in the first place.
Yeah.
They're there to make money. They're not there for your health. They don't care about your health. They care about selling a product. That's why cereal boxes are bright and shiny and right at a kid's eye level.
Yeah.
It's no longer a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
So we'll just say that.
That's for sure.
But anyone that gets off of that. So there's this big fight between veganism and carnivores right now, if you are in that world. And it's like, well, this is better than this. And it's like, stop. It's not. It's just that you're off processed foods. So I don't care which way you want to go. If you want to eat greens, if you want to eat meat. In my personal opinion, I'm mostly carnivore and have been for a few years. It's amazing. Every nutrient that you could possibly need is in there. Now, we won't go down that rabbit hole, but it's a lot of it. I think 80% or more of it is just not eating processed foods. Sugar is terrible for you. It's amazing. It tastes so good, especially when it's in ice cream. But it's so bad for what it's actually doing inside your body. And it's actually, what I was talking about before was you lose 3% of your collagen and elastin because of the sun, UV damage. You actually lose another 3% per year on a high sugar diet. So you're going to create a lot more free radicals in the body, and it's actually going to help. It's going to destroy a lot of that collagen and elastin and help slow the production of all of it. So people don't understand, and this isn't a health podcast, I understand, but a lot of people don't understand that. Well, I run into clients all the time. I have their undivided attention. They ask me these questions, these health questions. And I've had people tell me, well, but Honey Nut Cheerios has a heart on the box. And I had to scratch my head, and I'm like, people really think that. Wow. They still do. Or, and I'm even okay with people drinking diet soda over regular soda. At least you're taking a step in the right direction, and the studies on diet sodas are actually pretty good. But it's that if you can at least substitute this for this, it's better than doing this. But there's just still a lot of people that don't understand the effects of sugar in the body. They don't understand that your body, especially Americans, live in a chronic state of inflammation. And personally, again, and this is coming out all over the place right now, is that inflammation is the biggest cause for all chronic disease. And again, it's not for debate, it is. Yeah. And so the things that it's causing in your body are all of the chronic things where you're like, well, yep, I got this, I got that. And it's like, it becomes so normal in our society to have an illness and be on a medication because all your friends are on medications and all your friends have illnesses and aches and pains and whatever, and brain fog. And it just goes on and on and on. If you've lived your life your whole life that way, you have no idea what it's like when everything clears up, when you don't have aches and pains, when you're at a good stable weight, when you're feeling good, when, the brain fog goes away and you're like, wow, is this how like people feel? This is crazy. But we're so in tune to the heart association says that Honey Nut Cheerio is good for you. I think a study actually came out a few months ago that put Fruit Loops above a hamburger as for health, that Fruit Loops were better for you than eating a steak. Wow. And so that's the kind of information that's being put out there. I can look at that and say, that's ridiculous. Yeah. But I have to realize that that's not how everybody thinks. And so it's like they put a heart in the box so they can sell you the Honey Nut Cheerios. Yeah. That's it. So they're wasting red ink by putting that on there, making it bright and shiny. shiny, little smiling honey. I could never hurt you, you know? And it's like everything in the world is marketing. Everything in the world is put there so that they can sell you something. We're the biggest consumers in the world, and that's everyone's taking advantage of it. So
Dang.
that was a rabbit hole. But yeah, hopefully it answers your diet question. But at the end of the day, get off the processed foods. Shots are pretty safe. We do monitor constantly too. We're doing draws. We're making sure they'll, you know, be safe for you. And it just at the end of it, you can't be on it your whole life. It's something that you want to use as a tool to get you where you need to be, how to eat what you know you can eat. So
how long do you see people normally on it?
Right now, two things. Not many people have gotten off of it. So as long as they're still safe, a lot of people will go down to the lowest dose and they'll stay there for a very long time. We've only been offering it about maybe 2.5, 3 years now. But yeah, we have people that get down to the low dose and then they start maybe going every other week with it. And so they're still kind of tapering off, or they'll get off of it and then they'll gain and then they'll get back on it. And so for those, we have a little different conversation with them that, you know, you can't keep doing that. So that's also not healthy for you. But no, I think the other reason people tend to get off of it is because unless your insurance is in some way saying that you need it for a different purpose than weight loss, for it's a health reason or diabetes, then it's not the cheapest product out there. So some of these can be between $400 and $800 a month that you're paying for the shot.
Seriously?
Yeah. And so you have to be willing to do that for a good, 6 months to a year, or, until you hit your target weight and you figure out how to eat right. Now, that's a lot of reason why two people will quit. So they'll get about 2 months in, or they'll get sick and they don't really understand that they have to stop eating the things they love. And that's what got them there in the first place. And so they'll choose that over what they really wanted in the first place. So they'll choose the ice cream, they'll choose the processed food and say, well, that makes me happy, so I don't want to do this anymore.
And insurance usually doesn't cover that, right?
Not for weight loss purposes, no, unless it's a medically necessary weight loss or it's a, like you said, diabetes medication.
Interesting. So, and then do you do other injections like B12, like vitamin D, testosterone, like all that stuff? Or is it purely just...
So hormones we're getting into, we were into for a very long time. We're kind of putting that on the back burner right now because our business is going in a little bit different direction. Yeah. And so really it stops with IVs, other injectables like vitamin injectables, B12. We do a lot of those, and the neurotoxins, tox filler, biostimulators. So hormones, I'm on TRT. It's the greatest thing ever. But there's are also things you can manage with your diet.
Where do you go for that TRT? Because I am too. I'm just curious. Like, is there
Mexico?
Do you do it yourself?
Yeah. So I've gotten them from different places all over wherever I can, but being in the industry, I have a medical director that does hormones. And so I'll just get my blood draws from her and she'll give me the testosterone from there. So most of the time you do it at your house. You don't go home with filled vials. Like you just have a vial, you take what you need and you inject it. So it's pretty easy to do. Once you get past the first few, it's hard to inject yourself, but once you get used to it, it's pretty easy.
So, but you have a medical director at your office that does it for you, but not open to the public for business type thing. It's just
currently right now. No. Okay. We may bring back wellness, but a lot of the companies, med spas, are going the med spa wellness route. Yeah. And what we're doing is we're trying to build something that we can duplicate. And so we're going more of the cosmetic laser health route, and then more like hairstyling.
Interesting.
So we're going to be salon med spa as opposed to med spa wellness. That makes sense. Now we may bring on wellness, but my thought is always right now that realm is pretty new. I mean, it's very, very new for med spas to also do wellness. And right now laws are changing so rapidly that just like with the weight loss shots, someone in Washington swipes a pen and you now cannot do it anymore. So I know a lot of people that 50% of their business is that in other states. That's what they do. And in certain other states, they've just completely said, nope, we're done with that. And so now in a day, you have to redesign your entire business. Wow. So that's another reason I'm going to let this kind of flow through. I have a great business plan going the other direction. And it may be brought back later, but right now it's just a little, it's all over the place. So I'll tell you really quick. There is so many boards that we have to comply with that when you really dig into some of the deeper rules of these boards and what they expect from you, they completely contradict each other. And so I know these are fights that have been going on for a long time, but if you have the nursing board and you have the cosmetology board, there are certain laws inside of both of those that say, yes, you can do this. No, you can't do this. But since I'm under both boards, it's just kind of one of those be careful type of things. So I have to really follow whatever law seems to be the most stringent. Yeah. Because this says I can, this says I can't, but these two boards don't talk to each other. And that's really, again, what gets messy in those areas, because if they want to, they can come in and pull your license. But then you can say, well, yeah, but this board says I can, and they don't care. So we right now I'm staying away from a lot of that until they figure it out.
Yeah, I will say the TRT thing had made a huge difference. Like I remember I used to have horrible sleep patterns. Like I would get up super late. Now I get up at like 5 a.m. every day to get my stuff done. It's more focused, more energy. It's like so weird. I never thought it would make a huge difference. My brother first turned me on to it. He was like, dude, you got to go get this done. And I was like, what? And I was like not a believer for the longest time. And then I finally had to, because I was just like feeling run down. It was just like, what is going on? And it was just like a night and day difference. Crazy. Like, I don't know.
So, well, and it's wild. A lot of, I'm trying to get my brother to do it too.
Yeah.
But a lot of men feel that it's demasculating to even consider the thought that I need more testosterone, or what is that going to do for me? My testosterone's fine. I'm a man. And it's like, I get it, but I also thought that. I used to run, I'd run sprint triathlons and Spartan races and all these other things. And there was a point in time where I was like, I'm not recovering anymore. There's something wrong. I'm pushing myself just as hard as I was before, but something's different. And I went and got checked, and I was actually off the chart. There was no chart for where I was below.
Wow.
So I was basically a female with the amount of hormone or the amount of testosterone I had in my body.
Yeah.
And as soon as I started on TRT, it was like flipping a switch.
Yep.
So you got to be careful. You do have to get your blood checked. You do have to go give blood. It will increase the iron and the size of the platelets. So you do have to give blood. And you have to check, because if you're taking too much, that's when because a lot of people won't do it because they think it makes them angry. Or like the wives will be like, I don't know, he's just pissed off all the time. Like, well, what are you saying to him? No. It's because their testosterone usually is way too high.
Yeah.
And it can creep up pretty fast. So there was one point when the chart ends, I think at 1200. I think it's pretty much right, but the top end is 1200 and the bottom of it is 300. I was below that. Wow. But there was a point in time over the last few years that I got to 3000 and didn't know it because I wasn't getting my blood drawn.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, I feel good. I'm fine. And I had to back off. So, but I could tell, I'm like, damn, I'm getting irritated at everything.
Wow.
And so, fun fact, this is funny. My wife watched a hippo documentary the other day.
Yeah.
And so she's talking about hippos, and they have the highest testosterone of any animal on the planet. And so that's why they're just pissed off all the time. Wow. So that's why they're always chasing boats. And I think they kill more people in Africa than any other animal. And they can run 35 miles an hour underwater. So yeah, there's a fact for you.